If you've clicked on this video, it's likely because you're not entirely happy or satisfied with where you are in life right now. You probably feel a general sense of dissatisfaction going through your days or have a hard time visualizing a better future. And as a result of that, you're constantly falling into patterns of self doubt, procrastination, and distraction. To you, an hour of sitting around and daydreaming of scenarios that'll never happen is better than feeling lost and lonely like you usually do, because that's the only escape you have from the daily drudgery of the world. And if daydreaming is not your thing, you turn to pleasure seeking from external stimuli like doom scrolling, video games, Netflix, drugs, or overeating junk food. You know deep down that you're missing something, that you're not realizing your full potential. You feel like there's something more out there, something bigger than yourself or more meaningful, but you just can't muster up enough energy or enthusiasm to even begin to try and figure out what that problem is. You screwed up, got yourself into this mess, and you can't even look back at what you did or didn't do to make this all happen. I know about this feeling all too well because I've been through it, and as much as I'd love to tell you that I've got it all figured out, I really can't, because that would be a lie. But over the years, I've kind of figured out as to why I fall into these patterns and what to do to come out of it. I now can honestly say that I have some insight on how my brain works and make sense of this world. So the next time I'm having this big existential crisis, I can say to myself, oh, here I am doing that thing again, and get to actually fixing the problem sooner rather than later. That thing I'm talking about here is living the life of a consumer instead of a creator. Let me say that again. Whenever I found myself going through a time where life felt it had no meaning or purpose, it was because I was consuming way more than what I was creating. Consuming content mindlessly by scrolling through Instagram reels, switching between different social media apps, binge watching TV shows, doing gaming marathons, and shoving that delicious junk food down my throat. Just so you know, I don't really regret the gaming marathons, but you get what I'm trying to say. Now, I'm not saying that you might be feeling like a fuck up because you're doing the exact same thing, but if you can analyze and rule out the possibility of anything external, anything that you have no control over, that's causing havoc over your life, it's likely that you've fallen prey to the vicious cycle of mindless content consumption. Your brain has gotten so used to this endless fix of cheap dopamine that you now feel like an addict who can't go a day without getting a hit. So, what do you do to fix this problem? Well, to stop being a chronic consumer, you have to become a different person, someone else entirely. You have to be a creator. You have to go from being a passive observer to someone who takes action. So, why is creation such an important element of our life? You see, as human beings, we all have this innate desire to create, whether it's art, music, literature, or making scientific discoveries. We are driven to explore the world and express ourselves in unique and meaningful ways. Our creative impulse is deeply rooted in our nature and has been a driving force throughout history. From the earliest cave paintings to the latest advancements in technology, we have always sought to innovate, to push the boundaries of what's possible, and to leave a mark on the world. This desire to create, to transform, is what makes us human. And it is what gives our lives meaning and purpose. So when you alienate your innate desire, something that makes you unique and has been baked into your DNA, of course you're going to feel depressed. Think about it. Why do so many people create side hustles despite having well paying jobs? Is it because they have bad bosses or colleagues? Or because they want more money? It could technically be any or all of those things, but it could also be that the side hustle serves as a creative outlet for that person. Or what about artists who don't get the recognition they deserve, but still continue doing what they love? What do they get from being poor and underappreciated? I'll tell you what they get. They get to wake up every day and work on something that matters, something unique to them, even if that doesn't have a wide appeal. If you're looking to reach your full potential, you have to shift your focus from consuming content and create. That is a non negotiable. And the best part is that You don't even need validation from others when you're creating content for yourself. Go paint something instead of sitting around. Write instead of endlessly watching videos on how to write. Learn basic design instead of scrolling through your Instagram feed. Sing, dance, make TikToks, post cringe in the name of comedy. Point is, do something that moves your body and engages your mind for more than 20 seconds. Sure, you'll face negative judgment from some people once in a while if you decide to share your work, and you will feel bad. But guess what? You'll also feel alive. And that feeling is infinitely better than going through life in full NPC mode, living the life of a silent observer and a consumer. Now that you understand that shifting to a creator mindset is important, I'm going to tell you how you can do that to realize your full potential. So, what does it mean to reach your full potential? Ideally, it means becoming the best version of yourself, to reach a point where you feel that you've maxed out your skills, abilities, and talents given the circumstances you find yourself in. It doesn't necessarily have to mean a lot of professional success or making a lot of money, but it usually does lead to that because you're now someone who has something useful to offer to the world. However, all of this comes after you get clear on what you want from your life, which, I'm not gonna lie, is itself a huge challenge to overcome. And when you think about that and try to find out what you want from life and don't get a clear answer, you may just fall back into your old patterns and do nothing. So we're back to square one again. Thankfully, getting started doesn't have to be hard. You can tap into the creator mode that's already within you because it's within everyone by doing these two things. Number one, rethinking the whole meaning of purpose. When people think of purpose, their mind usually draws images of grand plans and extraordinary accomplishments, as if one day finding their purpose would solve the lack of clarity they have in their life and everything in this world would make sense again. But purpose doesn't come to you like that. You're not going to magically wake up one day and think, I'm going to solve world hunger or get rid of fusion food or something like that because that's my purpose. That's because purpose is something we create for ourselves rather than find. And it doesn't necessarily have to mean something grand. Purpose could be anything that gives you a feeling of not wasting away your time, something that gives meaning to your everyday life. So instead of overthinking things, find something that you're passionate about or you like doing and see if it's something that can be of some use to the world. Also, don't get hung up on the idea of purpose being this one thing that you're going to be chasing for the rest of your life. If that was the case, life would suck. Our purpose can and often does change as time passes, priorities shift, and we pick up new interests. The second thing you can do is get really good at what you do. Once you've found your purpose, or you think you do, spend time doing what your purpose fuels and do it to the point where you're just not good at it, but exceptional, like better than 90% of the population who are doing the same thing. It won't be easy, but it needs to be done if you're going to get anywhere with these skills. On your journey of acquiring knowledge and improving your skills, you'll face many trials and tribulations. You'll be lonely. You'll also face failures. There'll be mockery from people who said, I told you so. But if your purpose is clear, you'll also keep going and try again. You'll miss the comfort of your old life, the friends you left behind, and the familiarity of your old routine. But you'll also be happy. You'll wake up excited, ready to get to work. You'll work the entire day and fall asleep at night and dream of more work. And then you'll wake up and do it all over again. This is how work feels like when you've attached a purpose to whatever you're doing. And guess what? Most people will go their entire lives without ever feeling how you do it because they never found their purpose. I'm sorry if that sounds kind of condescending or preachy, but it's true. Because when you're consumed by the urge to create, most other things in life will take a backseat and feel insignificant to what you've set your mind to. Look, there's no easy answer to the question, how do we stop being lazy and start living to our full potential? There are countless factors that can hold us back. Fear, self-doubt, external pressures, lack of accountability, and so on. It requires a deep, introspective look at ourselves, our values, and our goals, and a willingness to confront our own limitations and fears. But what kind of a life can you expect by always living in your comfort zone? When we don't confront our limitations and fears, we may believe that we are not capable of achieving our dreams or pursuing our passions. This can lead us to settle for jobs, relationships, and lifestyles that are unfulfilling or just about good enough. We'll also effectively limit ourselves to a narrow range of experiences and miss out on so much that the world has to offer. To me personally, the thought of showing up and pressing the record button is terrifying because I'm not inherently a very confident or an extroverted person. I worry about messing up what I'm gonna say or not looking a certain way. I also wonder if people will judge me because of my accent. But I keep doing this day in and day out, regardless, because to me, at this point in my life, this feels like it's my purpose. And if I don't do this, it feels like I'm just wasting away my time. And even though my videos might not be up to standards for many people who are watching, I know that if I can just keep doing it, I'll only get better and one day reach my full potential. Because whatever skill you practice repeatedly, you only get better at it. So I urge you to stop consuming endlessly and start creating without fear of judgment or negativity, because most of it is in your head anyway. Like, comment, and subscribe. Send this to a friend if you think it's helpful. I appreciate you all for sticking around till the end. See ya.